Hey there, history buffs and sports fanatics. It's Ash, your host for a wild ride through the wacky and wonderful world of the Olympics. Think you know everything about the Games? Think again. Today we're diving into the most bizarre and unbelievable events ever to grace the Olympic stage. From underwater swimming to live pigeon shooting, yes, you read that right. We're uncovering the forgotten and frankly strange history of the world's biggest sporting event. Get ready for a journey through Olympic history like you've never seen before. Think you know everything about the Olympics? Think again. Today, we're diving into the most bizarre and unbelievable events ever to grace the Olympic Games. Get ready for a journey through Olympic history like you've never seen before. First up, let's rewind the clock back to 1900 to the City of Lights, Paris, the host of the second ever Olympic Games. Now, you might picture elegant architecture and sophisticated crowds, but trust me, the 1900 Olympics had a side that was just plain weird. We're talking underwater swimming and, wait for it, ballooning. That's right, athletes competed in a hot air balloon race, soaring above the Parisian skyline. Imagine the logistics of that, the wind, the navigation, the sheer spectacle of it all, and then there was underwater swimming. Forget sleek swimsuits and synchronized strokes. This was more like a test of how long you could hold your breath while navigating the murky depths. It's a far cry from the swimming events we know and love today, but hey, it was the Olympics and anything seemed possible. Now, you might be thinking hot air balloons and underwater swimming. How did they even come up with that? Well, the early Olympics were a bit of a free-for-all. The International Olympic Committee was still finding its feet, and the Games were more like a giant sporting carnival with a dash of let's see what sticks. These events might seem outlandish now, but they were a product of their time. This was an era of invention and exploration, a time when pushing boundaries was celebrated, and what better platform to test the limits of human endeavor than the Olympics? But beyond the strangeness, these events tell us something about the spirit of the Games. It wasn't just about athletic prowess, it was about embracing the new, the unusual, and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The 1900 Paris Olympics might have been a bit rough around the edges, but they gave us a glimpse into a time when the Olympics were a melting pot of innovation and, dare I say, a touch of madness. Fast forward 4 years and we find ourselves in St. Louis, Missouri for the 1904 Olympic Games. Now, St. Louis in the summertime can get, well, a little toasty, but that didn't stop the Olympic spirit from thriving, even if it did involve a healthy dose of mud. You see, the 1904 Olympics introduced the world to a truly unique spectacle, the mudslinging event. Yes, you heard that right, mudslinging. Forget javelins and discus throws in St. Louis. Athletes were hurling mud at each other with Olympic zeal. Picture this: grown men, clad in their finest athletic wear, or what passed for it in 1904, covered head to toe in mud, flinging handfuls of the good earth at each other. It was messy, it was chaotic, and it was, well, surprisingly popular with the crowds. Now I know what you're thinking. Mudslinging, that's not a real sport, and you know what? You're not wrong. In fact, the event was met with its fair share of criticism, even back then. Some saw it as undignified, a mockery of the Olympic spirit, but others embraced the absurdity of it all. After all, the Olympics are supposed to be about pushing boundaries, about testing the limits of human ability, even if those limits involve accurately hurling mud at your opponent. Sadly, the mudslinging event didn't stand the test of time. It was dropped from the Olympic program after its one and only appearance in St. Louis, but its legacy lives on, a testament to the fact that even the Olympics aren't immune to a little bit of good old-fashioned silliness. So, the next time you're watching the Olympics, and you see an event that seems a little out there, remember the mudslingers of St. Louis. They remind us that sometimes the most memorable moments in sports history come from the most unexpected places. Chapter 3. The 1936 Berlin Olympics Tug of War, a test of strength and strategy. Let's fast forward a few decades to 1936, to the Berlin Olympics. Now, the 1936 Games were a complex and controversial event for many reasons, but we're here to talk about a sport that might seem a little less, shall we say, politically charged: tug of war. Yes, tug of war, that classic schoolyard game of strength and strategy, was once a proud part of the Olympic Games. And it wasn't just some sideshow attraction either. Tug of war was a fiercely contested event with teams from around the world vying for Olympic glory. Imagine the scene: 8 men on each side, muscles straining, faces contorted in determination. all pulling on a thick rope for national pride. It was a true test of teamwork, requiring not just brute strength but also coordination and timing. Tug of war was part of the Olympic program from 1900 to 1920, and while it might not have had the glamour of track and field or the grace of gymnastics, it was a sport that captivated audiences. But alas, all good things must come to an end, and tug of war was eventually dropped from the Olympic program. Some say it was because the rules were too complicated, others because it lacked the international appeal of other sports. Whatever the reason, tug of war remains a fascinating footnote in Olympic history. It reminds us that the Games have always been about more than just individual achievement. They're about teamwork, about strategy, about the thrill of competition, no matter how unconventional the sport. So the next time you find yourself in a friendly tug of war, remember its Olympic legacy. Channel your inner Olympian, dig in your heels, and pull with all your might. Chapter 4, the 1900 Paris Olympics live pigeon shooting, a darker shade of competition. We're back in Paris for the 1900 Olympics, but this time we're delving into a darker, more controversial chapter of the Games. Brace yourselves because we're talking about live pigeon shooting. Yes, you read that right. Live pigeons were released and competitors attempted to shoot them down, with the winner being the one who shot the most birds. It's hard to imagine something like this being part of the Olympics today, and for good reason. The event was met with immediate backlash. Even at the time, animal welfare activists were horrified and the public outcry was significant. The image of hundreds of birds being shot down in the name of sport is a stark contrast to the Olympic ideals of peace and sportsmanship. It serves as a reminder that the Games haven't always been the beacon of progress they're often portrayed to be. The live pigeon shooting event was a grim reminder that even in the pursuit of athletic achievement, ethical lines can be crossed. It's a part of Olympic history that is often glossed over, but it's important to remember these darker moments, to learn from them, and to ensure they are never repeated. The outcry over the live pigeon shooting event did lead to changes. It sparked a conversation about animal cruelty in sport, a conversation that continues to this day. So while it's a dark mark on the history of the Olympics, the live pigeon shooting event ultimately served as a catalyst for change, a reminder that the pursuit of athletic excellence should never come at the cost of compassion. Chapter 5. The 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, Synchronized swimming, where athleticism meets artistic expression. For our final stop on this whirlwind tour of bizarre Olympic events, we're heading to sunny Los Angeles for the 1984 Games. Now, the 1984 Olympics were a time of triumph and celebration, but they also gave us a sport that, while not necessarily bizarre in itself, has produced some truly unique and unforgettable moments. Synchronized swimming. Now, before you click away, thinking synchronized swimming, that's not weird, that's just elegant ladies in sparkly swimsuits, hear me out. While synchronized swimming is undoubtedly a sport requiring incredible athleticism, strength and lung capacity, it's also a sport that embraces creativity and expression. And sometimes that creativity can lead to routines that are, well, let's just say memorable. We're talking about routines with themes ranging from underwater operas to interpretations of famous battles to, yes, even tributes to Michael Jackson. Imagine a team of synchronized swimmers underwater recreating the moonwalk in perfect unison. It's both impressive and a little bit surreal. A testament to the fact that synchronized swimming is as much about performance art as it is about athleticism. But beyond the outlandish themes and costumes, synchronized swimming is a sport that requires incredible skill and teamwork. These athletes spend countless hours perfecting their routines, holding their breath for what seems like impossible lengths of time, all while moving with grace and precision. So the next time you find yourself watching synchronized swimming, take a moment to appreciate the athleticism on display, but also embrace the creativity, the humor, and yes, even the occasional bizarre moment. After all, that's what makes the Olympics so captivating: the unexpected, the unforgettable, and the downright weird. And there you have it, some of the most peculiar and memorable events in Olympic history. From balloon races to live pigeon shooting, the Olympics have seen it all. It's a testament to the ever-evolving nature of sport. A reminder that what seems bizarre today might have been the height of competition a century ago. And who knows, maybe 100 years from now, people will look back on some of our modern-day sports and wonder what we were thinking. Which of these events surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more interesting content from the world of sports and beyond. See you next time.